thank goodness we didn't hit the record button 5 minutes beforehand, because ESPN's Courtney Cronin just broke some big news, and it's big news for a big human being, to the tune of the Bears traded for interior offensive lineman. That's what we're going to call him, Carmen. Interior offensive lineman Jonah Jackson for a 6th-round pick. He makes, well, lots of money. But the Bears have made a point to go out there and get interior offensive linemen. They make a bold move here, getting Jonah Jackson from the Rams. Your immediate reaction to this trade?
It's a step in the right direction, honestly, because you're adding experience to this line in general, and the interior offensive line in particular. I know that the Rams tried immediately to shift Jonah Jackson to center from his previous position of guard with the Detroit Lions. I don't know exactly where he'll end up playing, but the last time he played for Ben Johnson, he was their guard. And I was, honestly, this was right when I had started covering the Lions, and he was an integral part of that offensive line. I can say that I was pretty shocked to see him go, but we saw that the Lions had quite a few contracts coming down the pipeline to try and have to deal with. So I think Jonah Jackson was kind of one of those casualties, and the Lions ended up getting Kevin Zeitler, who filled in admirably for a lesser price. But I do really think that Ben Johnson loves him some Jonah Jackson, and clearly that's the case if the Bears went out to make a move to go and get him. Not only, I mean, only giving up a 6th round for a former Pro Bowler is, I think that's excellent business. There is the fact that his contract, like you alluded to, Scott, is a little bit higher. We saw that, the Bears went from the 4th most projected cap space in the league, to now the 7th most. So a little bit of a drop there, but worth it when you consider they're getting experience along that offensive line.
Mike Norman, what is your take on this move? They obviously wanted to be aggressive to get new interior linemen, to get a guy who's proven, to get a guy who Ben Johnson knows. Yes, it's a lot of money, but it's what they were set on doing as we start this 2025 NFL offseason.
Yeah, and we heard it from Ryan Poles last week talking about how they're going to explore every possible avenue to go get and attack that weakness that they have at offensive line. So I think it's an interesting move. It kind of seems like a buy low move in terms of what you have to give up in terms of draft capital, but obviously you're going to be paying the guy. But that's one of the strengths that we talked about the Bears having. You have draft capital, you had money to work with. You have to take some big swings if you're the Bears at some point. And I think this was going to be an offseason, like we've talked about, where the Bears are going to take big swings. Whether it's through trade, whether it's through free agency, this is the start of it all, guys. Get ready, get excited. This is kind of the first official move. We know reports, it's reports. It doesn't go official till the new league year. But this is kind of the first move of the Ben Johnson era in terms of adding a player. And Carmen, you talked about that familiarity with Ben Johnson. I love that. I think that was kind of what you hope to see. You want to see Ben Johnson and Dennis Allen on the defensive side bring in guys they know, maybe guys that are under the radar, guys that, could step up and then take the reins and teach guys what it means to be in those offenses with Ben Johnson, defense with Dennis Allen.